Hi, I opened a can of worms over the weekend. It's not actually worms, but it's this giant box full of drawings that I pulled out of storage because I finally wanted to hang some illustrations on the walls. I think as an illustrator, I'm the one supposed to be responsible to promote having nice stuff hanging on the walls. So now I finally have some and I'm gonna show you later. But before, I want to show you some interesting stuff that I found in here. So I got into illustration 5 years ago when I moved to Berlin in 2018, and I just graduated in industrial design before. I moved here and I, out of nowhere, really got into drawing. I drew as a kid, and then, of course, in elementary, high school, stopped because I don't know, I just wasn't having the greatest time in school. I was a good student and I put that first, and I don't know, other than that I was just very unconfident, struggling socially, and just wasn't in a place where I would continue doing these things that I liked as a younger kid. But when I came here to Berlin, I was inspired again. I couldn't really see myself working in a design office. And meeting Sebi, who was working freelance at the time, like working from home, I really knew that I wanted to do something like this. And I fell in love with the city. I really felt inspired by everybody walking around. I wanted to capture everything, and that's how I started drawing and never stopped since. I always had little side jobs. I was working in a restaurant, then working in a shop, and just trying to develop illustration while I did that. And I'm at a point now, 5 years in, where I feel good about my illustration most days. I've done some really nice project recently. I did a book this year. I've done some magazine illustration. I worked with an animation studio and did various projects for smaller and bigger companies. So most days I feel quite okay with how it's going. Also, private commissions have been going great. Yeah, but there are of course still days where I feel behind, where I feel like I should be further on this journey, where I start comparing myself with all the amazing illustrators and the opportunities they get and the work they make that I see on Instagram or Pinterest or all over the internet. So opening this box and seeing the progress I did over the 5 years was really amazing. And it was great to see the progress, but also seeing the kind of work that I was doing just for fun, just because I was interested in this kind of stuff, like capturing people, what they're wearing, and places, and documenting my life. So the first big project I did, where I decided to go into illustration and really practice every day and do something proper every day to learn and to progress, was a 100-day challenge. And I heard about it on a podcast, and I just decided to go for it. Like, I wasn't too precious about it. I did this every day and took a picture of everyone and put it on Instagram. So I think this was the very first one I did. This was in 2018 or 19, I'm not sure. I think it was 18. So many of the themes are still my everyday life, just documenting everyday things I saw around Berlin. This is me and Sebi having an ice cream on Böhmischer Platz, very close to where we used to live. And I remember my main inspiration then was Sompe. I remember checking how he did trees for this one. And then they're not very chronological, but I'm just gonna go show you some. So, and then this is our apartment, our third floor on Braunschweiger Straße, some sketchy neighbors. I always loved drawing funny characters and capturing funny details, like what feet. You can see like the proportions are not great in these ones. This one is quite sweet. I had a little bicycle, like just technical stuff is not very right, but it's so nice to go through all this. Like, I'm so glad, such good memories. Another Sonnenallee. I was a fan of Joana at the time already. Like, he's a red, probably inspired by her. New York, Berlin, they have some similarities. I love these giant bushes of sunflowers in the summer in Berlin. It's amazing. And ice cream. Just the funny stuff, like small heads that I see. Like the faces are not, I mean, it's funny. And then we have a food automat. This one is from Tor. I don't know, like a homeless guy in a red and a falafel poster, and this sassy lady putting on some lipstick before she goes into a food automat, and this kid cheekily checking this lady inside. Tor. I remember drawing this one on this is me on my way back from work. I used to work at a restaurant and came home very late, like 1 in the morning. So there were some sketchy characters around there. Nothing ever happened. It was just sometimes feeling a little sketchy. Of course, alright again. We loved going to the museums with Sebi. I did crocheting a lot at the time. This is at Artes Museum on Museum Island. I loved chilling in here with the big columns. This was from Museum Bergruen. I think this is Paul Klee, something like lovers. And I love to observe people in museums and like see how sometimes their clothes are matching to the artwork. I'm not sure if we were really matching or did I make it up, but I kind of like this pink and blue. Another museum one. I love how you can like play dress up with things hanging in the museum. I don't know what that leak is doing here in my bag. Again, another one of Artes Museum. This was a market on Prinzenstraße, very close to Modelor. I met my friend Naoko there for the first time. And there's this girl that also does live drawing. Sometimes she's at Boxy Market, sometimes at Maybachhofer, and I don't know, but look at this, like the proportion of this child is like a little adult human. Just funny things like that. And then my friend Sue was in Berlin, and I drew her. We were crocheting a lot together. I loved her hairstyle. This is like, I've never did this, but I colored the background here with ink and make it all black and night. Some things you see around Berlin at night. And Modelar. I did a few drawings of Modelar over the years. Is this focusing? Yeah, I think they even reposted some of these drawings. Neukölln was my old local station. Again, one at Moritzplatz, where Modular is. This was at Weserhalle, the little gallery that hosted Christmas market, or just it was like just an art market, and I sold my crochet vegetables in there. This was CBS and his friends' tennis tournament. Some of my friends visiting, and then like travels. This was CB and me going to Croatia. This was before situation, and then let's see if I have an after one. And this is after, me with the blue eye, because here we were on our way to the beach, and then there was a big cliff that we decided to go jump off into the sea. It was very, very high. Never do that, please. It was too high. And we went and jumped, and Sibi was fine, and I got a blue eye and a blue butt, and I had to go to the hospital. I could have probably injured my spine then. It was really bad. Luckily nothing happened. I just had to stay at the hospital overnight because I had like one little tiny fracture on one of the discs. But I was good, luckily. Don't jump into water. I'm not doing it ever again. Then I'm not sure if this one was a part of the 100-day challenge, but I went to Paloma Wool pop-up in Berlin and I drew this, and I remember I was super proud of this one. I really like this drawing. This is the sweater that I'm wearing today, actually. I didn't buy it then, I think I bought it later, but I was thinking about it for a long time. More museums. How 100-day challenge feels like. Oh, my friend Naoko drew this. I want to frame this. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside now that I'm on a framing wish. I remember seeing a man carrying a giant loaf of bread. I don't think I'm exaggerating here. Also, look at the BFF broccoli graffiti and hamsters. Love Neukölln. I'm glad I live in Prenzlauer Berg now, but it's fun out there. Okay, this is I think one of my first and probably biggest projects other than the book. It came super early. This was 2020 and I got a commission from the children's clothing brand The Animals Observatory. And I was so happy to get this. Like still, this would be my dream brand to work for. I love their clothes, I love how they do everything visually, their marketing. Everything is amazing about the Animals Observatory. And these are the originals. I colored them digitally on my iPad. And I'll put also some images from how they implemented it into their sales campaign. So they just sent me photos of the kids wearing their clothes. And then I had to draw these kids in a few little situations wearing them. Okay, then I have some fun stuff from travels with Sadie and me. That's before we had Eddie. I think this is 2020. We went to South Africa just before the pandemic. It was like, I think February of 2020. So I did like a little illustrated map. This was me packing for South Africa. I was really excited about this leopard bathing suit that I got. Safari, some of my favorite memories. This Sibi and his dad in Cape Town. A dinner with Sibi's aunt. Sibi and me at the farm. And what is this? It's not a baboon, it's a vervet monkey. Safari, I love this so much. And penguins in Cape Town. Then I've got this one from Oslo. We went to Oslo for, it was so crazy actually, it was 2019 actually. About 1 year into drawing, after the 100-day challenge, I got contacted by this gallery Golsam in Oslo, and they were doing this event called Got It for Cheap and Velvet Ropes, where they invite different artists, illustrators that make work on paper, and they organized like a market where there were like drawings all over the table. It was quite a party. So many people showed up, and then I think they were selling all the A4 drawings for 30 euros and all the A3 ones were 100, and of course they took a cut from it. But I remember this was probably one of the first times I made some money with illustration. This is Sibi. Also made a holiday out of it. So here we are in Oslo, me very proud with my folder with illustrations. And then we went and spent a week in a little cottage in the middle of nowhere in Sweden. Sibi always points out, I don't know why I put him here like a giant creep in the bushes. But there's me drawing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what I was thinking of drawing when I was drawing him there. But this was so much fun. It was quite cold already, end of August. And we were in this cottage without electricity, without water, next to a lake. It was fun. And then I think I can show you my first commissions. Other than this gallery, my first commissioned work were probably dog portraits. So these are some of them. I think this one was a trial or something, or maybe I had to change something. This one I remember doing for the poster. I'm gonna show you the poster in a sec. I think this one I just did for fun, for myself to practice. But I love drawing dogs. This was before we had Eddie. And I saw this lost dog poster somewhere and I thought, wait, that would be so cool if I made like a poster, but not a lost dog, but for I want to draw your dog. And I did it and I put them all around Berlin, mostly Neukölln where I lived. And I got a bunch of my first commissions through that. And see, the prices were at the time prices were like 30 euros for A5 format and I think 35 or 40 for A4. And so I've come a long way from that, but it was great practice. It was very encouraging to get first jobs as an illustrator. I know there were private commissions, they were not brands or companies or businesses, but just to be able to draw for some cash, it really made me believe it was possible to have illustration as a job one day. So these are some of the posters I put up. And then you could tear off the little contacts. And it was so fun, like checking on the posters after posting them on the walls and around the city, then checking how many of the contacts were gone. And emails kept coming in, it really kept me busy for a while. And then once, you know, people saw at other people's dog portraits, then their friends contacted me. And this is still how it happens sometimes. Of course, also Instagram helps. Lots of people find me on Instagram and that's how they reach out to me. Also TikTok recently, also YouTube sometimes. Yeah, currently I'm still open for commissions. Maybe one more slot before Christmas. And then I'll see, because I go through these phases where I like to take commissions, but then I like to take a break and work on some other stuff. Maybe some other stuff comes in. So I open them when I have time and when I need to make some extra cash. And then when I have other stuff going on, I close it because it's not my main priority. It is something that has worked really well and I'm super grateful to have been able to do this in the beginning of my illustration career. It's been just so encouraging to be able to draw for money, to draw dogs and to draw families, and it's amazing, but it's something that I will probably transition out of when I'm able to work on other stuff. Another fun challenges I did were this daily or hourly comic where I did little illustrations for every hour of the day. And I think I had YouTube channel by then already. So I have two here. 2 times I did this challenge. And I'm sure one of them is documented on YouTube, but I'm not sure which one. So I'm just gonna go through one of them. So 8 a.m. we wake up. 9 a.m. Eddie goes to pee. And I guess he's not having any of it. He's playing in the snow. Then we have breakfast. Still everyday mush. It's my oats with banana or apple. Every day doesn't change. Then I had a dog portrait commission. It's just fun to be forced to make a little sketch for every hour of the day. Then I met my friend Nora and her doggy Frida on my way to the grocery store. And I had a lunch, hummus and carrots. Still hasn't changed much. And some scrolling and some coffee. And then, I sent off the commission. I really like this composition. These fun, quick drawings are nice to do sometimes, just to loosen up and do something fast and not to worry about it too much. Then I went to the post. I really like this one. I like the texture of the ink. I don't do that a lot. I should. Just little things like this. Like now that I'm in the mood for framing things, I kind of like, this is sweet. This could be framed. I don't know. And lots of drawing. And then I did exercise. And then stretch. I like this one. And there was some cooking. The sweet potato, zucchini, pepper thingy. Watch some TV, but actually it's not very relaxing when you still know you have to finish all these drawings. So, oh yeah, then we go to sleep. Oh no, actually, first we take a shower. I don't know if YouTube's gonna censor this or no. And then we go to sleep. I think I also colored these on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it. This one, I think this one is the one that I have on YouTube that you can also, I'm gonna link it. Okay, and then I did this funny comics sometimes. I drew my restaurant job a few times. It was quite fun. It was a great experience working in service. This was when I first got this job. I was so nervous to get my first job in Berlin because I didn't speak any German. I had just graduated in Ljubljana, so I didn't have like serious work experience. I was working in my parents' company a little bit, just in production of like putting little caps on tubes. And I had a little shop job in Ljubljana. But first time working in a foreign city where you don't speak a language, it's scary. And I've never had a service job in a restaurant before. So that was the mood, but I had to get it. And I got it, and it was super nice and super friendly. Like, I learned a lot. It gave me lots of confidence. It forced me to speak to people. It was good. So it says on the window, "Wir suchen Servicekraft ab sofort." And then I went in and I brought them little Lebenslauf. And then I came for a trial shift and it was all good. Restaurant drawings, that's how it felt like. This one I could put into the kitchen for good old Caligari times. Buonanotte. Okay, another comic that I did in 2020 about my Caligari job. So Berlin is opening up again and I'm back at my restaurant job. Haben Sie einen negativen Test? And he's got his both vaccinations, so bin schon geimpft. BioNTech team. It is good to be out and about again, but I'm a little out of practice. Again, multitasking. I'm not used to being awake at this time. This was coming back from COVID. I really wasn't used to being awake at 1 a.m. anymore. But gazpacho keeps me going. I lived on this gazpacho in Caligari summertime. Grazie Pepe, that's one of the chefs there. And then my favorite part, I got paid cash every evening. And Stringgeld. This I found somewhere. Eddie's first shower. I think I'm gonna hang this in the bathroom. I really remember I love doing these little comics and little stories. So I did this similar thing this year about spring or summer in Berlin. and it was such a nice project. I love the illustrations. I don't do personal projects a lot anymore. This is the bad stuff of when you start getting paid jobs, you don't do so much stuff that you would like to do. So it's important to take that time. And from the comic I did this year, I also made the postcards. These ones that I use as thank you cards for commissions mostly, and I have business cards from this little comic series. So I really made good use out of this private project, personal project. Okay, I love this one. This is me and Sibi when we were moving in our first apartment together in Neukölln. And I haven't even had a job at the time, and so silly. We went to this fancy furniture shop. Like, I like nice things, but come on, like... We went to this furniture shop looking at a Togo sofa, and I haven't even had a job. And it felt like the prices were like this. I don't know, like they're not real prices, but it was just like, look at this feeling of desperation. One day. So I made Sibi like twice as big as I am. We are the same height. I want to wait for once we have like a super fancy sofa. Maybe once we buy an apartment, I want to hang this above it. And then I loved drawing. This was like a fun thing, like also a useful thing to do sometimes. I love drawing brands, clothes of brands that I like, just as a fun thing because, you know, I like scrolling and looking on the internet for nice clothes, but I don't want to buy them all. I want to try them on as a drawing, and that kind of also helps to reduce my urge to buy things. So this is me, like drawing this little fun coat on me. And then I always tag those brands, and sometimes they notice, sometimes similar brands notice, and I think I've gotten a few commissions like for little brands like that already. This was a lady that I saw outside. I'm not sure if she had this smiley, but I thought it would be cool to have like a smiley with this on the jacket. And then I drew this Dackel drawing. There's this brand called Dackel Couture, and I think they had like a picture like this. I think I just recreated the picture in a drawing. These Dackels wearing their super cool coats. I really want to get Eddie one day. And then I did this drawing because I love Apartamento magazine. So I drew this and I tagged them. Nothing happened, but maybe one day that would be quite a dream. I drew this little drawing. It's also colored on my Instagram for this magazine in Slovenia. And I did end up working for this magazine. I made a cover that didn't end up being used, but it's an illustration that I'm really proud of still. And then I think during COVID I had this little series going where I was drawing people's interiors. So I spent a lot of time on the internet, on Instagram, looking at people's houses, just being stuck inside. I mean, it was nothing new for me, like I like to do that any day, anytime, COVID or not. But I liked looking at people's homes and then drawing them and then tagging them. And this is this lady, I think her name is Jana. Her apartment went viral. I don't know, like I met her in real life in Berlin as well, and I kind of know from the street where her apartment is, but this apartment was like really big on the internet. And there's Linda Rodin with her pub. I really like her style. And there's this shop that I found on Instagram from New York, Union something, with vintage furniture, beautiful vintage furniture that I really love and drew. And this was another lady on Instagram, I forget her name, another little drawing of the same brand with these Afghan coats. What's their name? And then one of Eddie and me and Marimiko. I think they also post these when people share photos of them wearing them, and I shared this drawing of me wearing them. Some more random Berlin drawings. Really, this inspired me so much to take time for personal work. Because it's so much fun going through this and fun memories. Eddie and I taking a selfie in Kudam. And this was a fun little thing that a little cafe in Neukölln, Pomeranz made with my drawing. Just like a little leaflet they were putting around it as advertisement. They stuck some to like little lampposts or put into people's mailboxes. I think it's a really cute idea. I want to hang this one also somewhere, it's cute. And this is some more recent things. I tried to do Inktober this year. I didn't last longer than a few days. But these are some originals, and this is like an attempt to do a personal project that didn't really last. Like it's not, sometimes, you know, it's just not possible. So as much as you can, a little bit is always better than nothing. I'm really happy I got this done. Like, I'm not too mad about not lasting the whole Inktober. I put this one here in this folder because I'm taking it to Ljubljana. I'm going to Slovenia now this weekend because I have another book presentation for the book that I illustrated. We're gonna have a little show on the Ljubljana Book Fair. These are some of the postcards I put in here. And this little A5 Berlin neighborhood postcard. Some originals. Some of the sketches for a live drawing event I did this year. And then, the originals from the book, which I might color in watercolor a few of them one day. I'm not sure what I want to do with these, but I think there could be a chance to show them somewhere. Okay, that's it for the little archive tour. I'm gonna put up some work that I'm proud of that I made now recently, in the last 2 years maybe. I think it's important to know that every one of these artists or whoever we look up to for their work, they all have stashes and stashes of this not so amazing work that was necessary for them to get to the place where they are now, where we admire them and want to be like them. And I think it's important for us, for everyone, to be reminded sometimes that, you know, everybody's on their own journey, doing their own thing, everybody's on their own timeline, and looking back and seeing the progress is really amazing. So I feel good. I feel like I've done good in the past 5 years, even if sometimes I think it's all been just for nothing and I should all just quit everything and get a normal job. Yeah, that happens often, but no. Okay, I'm gonna show you now a few things that I put on the walls already this weekend. So this is the Spad Bad. It's not mine, it's the original illustration by Jana that I bought in New York this year. And I love him so much. This is my inspiration. And then I have this poster that I made for the book tour. My first ever book tour. About 2 main book characters and then me and the author in the back. It's so dark today, it's a gloomy day. I mean, it's gonna be like this now for the rest of the winter. Finally, I have one of these Berlin neighborhood posters. Of course, the Prenzlauer Berg, where we live. And then this gouache illustration that I made in Munich. It's Sebi, Eddie and me in the Wirtshaus. They've got Käsespätzle, salad, vegan dishes and sausage. And a stuffed boar, the nice night view, little red shoes. This really makes me want to do more gouache again. Like I did a few trials and I just love this one. Okay, so this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this little sit down and show and tell video. I want to do more videos like this, just sitting down talking about a topic on illustration, Berlin, living in Berlin. So if you have any requests or ideas, let me know, and I'll be happy to do so. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you soon.